Hi, my name is Katie O'Brien. I'm a contract engineer with DEM Services. I studied mechanical and manufacturing engineering in DCU and I graduated in 2019. When I was in secondary school, I loved physics and maths and chemistry, but I thought that kind of limited me to jobs in either teaching or working in a lab. It wasn't until I went to see my guidance counsellor, who was very helpful, and she kind of introduced me to engineering and all those kind of subjects and that you could study in college. Her daughter was actually an engineer, and that's kind of her passion for her daughter's education and interest in engineering really helped me kind of consider it. So from then I went to the open days in UCD, DCU, Trinity and Galway, and from that I decided that engineering was for me and that's what I wanted to pursue. What I find interesting about engineering is that it's such a broad subject. There's so many different types of engineering. You can have mechanical, manufacturing, you have chemical, then there's all the kind of engineering that happens inside factories that you don't necessarily have to go to college for, but it is definitely kind of a niche market. So you do need a lot of training. When we were in college, we covered so many subjects, and we covered kind of the type of theory, and we also covered practical subjects. So that was kind of good, and it gave us kind of an insight of the different types of engineering that is out there. So some of the industries that are out there are pharmaceutical, food, airline, car, and aerospace. So I've worked in pharmaceutical industry and the food industry. They're two very different industries, but they kind of have the same ground theories and stuff. Some skills that are good to have to be an engineer are to be organised, to have good communication skills, because it's important to be able to portray your ideas and how you think that a problem can be solved quickest and most efficiently. You should be able to work under pressure, to work in groups, and also to be able to work on your own initiative, because problems, as I said, pop up all the time. You could be walking around a factory and see something that's probably not the norm, and then it's good to be able to work on your feet and start solving the problem before you let everybody else know. So when I was in college, there was about 5 girls in my class of mechanical and manufacturing, which was quite a good number considering there was 30 in total in our class. But as I was going through college, it did seem that the numbers of girls were increasing every year, so that's definitely a positive. It's definitely a daunting kind of industry to jump into, because there's so many men in the industry and they're very strong-headed and they're definitely passionate about what they do. And when you don't see women in these lead roles, it's kind of hard to aspire to be in one of those positions. So it's definitely reassuring that there are more women starting to kind of have the confidence to move into these big roles and to be in for the chance of being these lead engineers on big projects. One way that I really think that women already in engineering could do to encourage young girls to start a role in engineering would be to get into them while they're in secondary school and even in primary school, just to let them know that that there are jobs out there for girls in engineering and other STEM programs. That it's not really publicised that much, but since I started in the industry, I realised that there are actually women in high positions. It's just they're quite proud of their work, but they also don't like to boast or brag. But they've worked hard to get where they are, so they really should share their experiences with the younger generations so that they can aspire to also match their success. It's kind of bad to say, but while I was in college, I didn't really have any one female person as an inspiration, because as I said, like there's not, it's really not publicised what women are doing in engineering and kind of who are the women out there that are making changes. So it was kind of, it's all male kind of companies that you hear about, but I definitely think going forward in the future, the women who are in the higher roles should kind of share their success and let girls know that there is a future for them if they just pursue it. Because there are great women in engineering currently doing some great things. I'm so glad that I chose engineering as my subject in college. It's opened me up to a world of experiences, especially with the job that I am now in contract engineering. I have the chance to work with big companies such as Kerry Foods, Wuxi and Takeda. These are all companies that are very successful in their own right, and have groundbreaking technologies that really have improved their field of production. So far, I haven't faced any major challenges. The people that my mentors have been very good, and they have always pushed me to achieve more. So, in that sense, I've been very lucky. But I know that there are people out there that are struggling, being a female in a male-dominated workforce. But yeah, I've been very lucky. I think it's important to celebrate International Women's Engineering Day because it's so important to spread the knowledge that engineering is a career for women, and that there are women out there that are making a difference.